Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. We got James Tallarico. I think I'm saying that right. He was a guest on Joe Rogan's show, and he's still pushing the same narrative. I'm listening to the whole episode. This guy has some weird ideas. In my view, he is definitely misusing Christianity in some of these ideas that he's pushing. We'll talk about that a little later. But he gets to one point where he starts talking about voter suppression. And I'm like, voter suppression. It's funny how the left and the right have this different language, right? The left talks about voter suppression. The right talks about, stricter voting protocols, voter ID, of course. And I was like, okay, let's hear about this voter suppression. And he basically is saying that what's happening in Texas is that they're trying to stop young people from voting. It's the young people that they don't want voting in elections. Okay, let's hear him out here, and then I'm going to show you the facts in regards to what's actually going on in Texas and the rest of the country, quite honestly. Let's jump in.
World, you can burn out so easily, which I think I was about to burn out in that second term. You can burn out if it's not sustained by that love of God. And again, I don't mean God as that word is charged for a lot of people. I don't mean like a sectarian religious orthodoxy definition. I just mean that ground of your being, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't know if it answers your original question, but
what was the main struggle? Like what were you facing in the House that was causing you to have this crisis?
Well, so there were several bills. I mentioned the abortion ban.
Was it dealing with the human beings, though? Was it the actual...
So the bill, this was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I just got to say, him just saying that about God, it's like Christian guilt, very akin to white guilt. Just, when I say the word God, it's very charged. Yeah, it's the ultimate being that created everything. Yeah, it's pretty charged. It's okay. It's okay that it's a charged word. You can say God. And then that's what the guilt does. It makes you mince up what you have to say into this weirdness. Whatever grounds you in your being. What? What are you talking about? You talking about a weighted vest or God? Which one you talking about, bro? It's okay. Be clear with what you're saying. It's okay to believe in God, man. You're a minister. Out of all the people. See, this is why this guy threw me off. I was like, this guy he's trying to seem like I shouldn't say that. He's Christian. He is. But let's just keep going.
Toward the end of that legislative session, my Republican colleagues brought this is the way I would describe it, a voter suppression bill, making it more difficult to vote in the state of Texas. Again, Texas is probably the hardest place to vote in the country, just in terms of the paperwork, the requirements, the hoops you got to jump through.
How so, though?
There's a whole host of things. The fact that we don't have online voter registration in the state, when a lot of other states do. I mean, think of all the things you do online. Voter registration is not one of them. The IDs that now count for registering to vote or voting are very selective. So, for instance, if you got a concealed carry license, that license counts as ID, which I agree that it should. But a student ID from a college or university doesn't count as an ID.
You have to get a driver's license?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to go get a driver's license. And again,
what
for
about
someone
passport? Passport.
Yeah,
work,
passport. Right? But again, I didn't have a passport for most of my life. Right? I didn't travel outside the country till I was, I was in my 30s, and so I didn't have a passport. A lot of people don't have a driver's license, especially older folks. So the point is that these rules get added on top of each other and make it even more difficult.
You see what I mean with that? A lot of people don't have a license, especially older folk. Hey, who you talking about, bro? Because no offense to anybody watching, 60's old. You're telling me you think 60-year-olds? Let's go up a little more. 65. You're telling me you think 65-year-olds don't have licenses? What? Let's go 70. You think my dad drove until he was 79. The only time he didn't drive is when he had a tumor and he couldn't work part of his body because it was a little paralyzed, and he walked to the hospital with a cane. What are we talking about here? And when they removed the tumor, he was like, oh, okay. He started driving again. What are you talking about, man? My mom's 71 on the road every day. What do you?
What are these rules? What's the reason for these rules? Is the rules they're trying to keep people that are non-citizens from being able to vote, right?
Well, not exactly. I mean,
No?
There is that concern. There's all, but and here's
What's
where it
the
kind of
main
breaks
concern?
down. The
If you're
main
being
concern is
cynical.
voter impersonation,
Uh-huh.
which is the idea that I would show up to vote as if I was someone else, like I was going to go and impersonate Joe Rogan and vote for Joe Rogan.
That does happen though, right?
Vanishingly few incidences of this happening,
Right, but
Because it
shouldn't there be
requires you know,
zero? Shouldn't there be zero
Yes,
instances?
of course. And Ken Paxton, decides to. He's our attorney general here in Texas. Decides to spend millions of dollars trying to find voter fraud, right? To try to prove that this is a widespread problem. And, if he comes up with anything, it's usually like one or two cases of some mom who made a mistake on her form. I mean, the Secretary of State here in Texas, a Republican, said that our elections are safe and secure. So I'm all for.
Well, he was wrong. That Republican was wrong. Republicans can be wrong. He's saying it like Republicans have never been wrong in their life about anything. That one was wrong. And for some reason, leave it to the left to be like, and we got this guy, he's spending money trying to find people who shouldn't be voting in our elections. I mean, and if he finds anything, it's 1 million people that are removed from the voter registration. That's what he finds. They're not all illegals they're doing it, but he finds things. And I'm going to show you more. There's actually an indictment that's come through recently. So I just, what this guy's trying to do here, it's like no matter, and he's a good guy. If you watch the episode, he's a good guy, but always on the left. They're trying to push these narratives every time. Like actually trying to demonize a government official, an attorney general, who's actually saying, you know what? I'm going to make it my job to find any type of fraud or any type of bad doings that could go against our elections. I want to just keep our elections like free and fair. And he's like, could you believe it? I mean, I can't find a reason to call him racist yet, but I mean, I'm sure there's one. I mean, can we all agree?
For making sure that our elections have integrity. I think you have to have that in democracy. My concern, though, is when some of these bills are adding unnecessary regulations on top of that just to make it harder for some folks to be able to vote rather than make everyone have the same opportunity to vote.
Who do you think they're trying to make it harder for?
I think young people. I mentioned this issue of colleges and universities and those student IDs not being eligible. 2, in Texas, you've got to change your registration every time you move counties. Not necessarily if you move within a county, but every time you move counties. This is something we don't have to do. Like there are logistical systems in place where we could track voter registration across counties. But think about the people that disenfranchise us, the people who move a lot, who moves a lot. Young people move a lot.
Yeah.
Every time you get a new job, get a new apartment, if you go to a college or university, then you are moving and your voter registration has essentially been erased until you redo it.
And young people are more likely to vote progressive and liberal.
I mean, I don't even know if that's true anymore because, a lot of young people voted for President Trump in the last election.
I think that's because a lot of young people felt very disenfranchised by some of the laws that were being passed by the previous administration and some of the actions they were taking to suppress freedom of speech. I think
it's fair. My point is, when Republicans in my workplace try to disenfranchise certain groups, I think it's almost they should give themselves more credit and believe in their ability to actually win over those groups. Right, instead of trying to make it harder for young
to them, though.
Well, but my point is, instead of making it harder for young people to vote, why don't you just go out and try to win their votes? Clearly, Donald Trump was able to do it, and if Donald Trump was able to do it, I think more Republicans should feel they can compete for those votes.
Yeah,
competition
but again,
is a good thing, and
a lot of the reason why people were voting for Trump was a rejection of the previous administration and
fair.
The idea that this is a continuance, that the Kamala Harris administration would be a continuance of the previous administration.
Yeah, I think that's true. But again, I'm arguing for my Republican colleagues here. I do think
he's doing it. He's doing it for the Republicans, guys. Guys, never mind. Video done. Is the video still running? Video done. He's doing it for the Republicans right now. He's speaking for them. Oh, this is just rich stuff going on here. I think this is absolutely ridiculous. It's obviously not young people that they're trying to stop. I'm sure he's been on the House floor when they're talking about this, And young people don't come up at all. I'm sure in Texas. Hey, I'm sure in Texas, they're not talking about young people. Look, be honest. Okay? You ever been in Texas? They're probably talking about Mexicans. I know, I'm wild and I'm crazy. I know, but there are a few. And sometimes, I don't know if you guys heard this, sometimes they walk right through the border. Pretty much up until Trump took office. They would walk right through. I know. It's kind of weird. So I don't think they're doing it because of young people. It's probably the influx of millions of Mexicans. Probably. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this whole thing. Kind of am. I've put in a lot of time into this topic, honestly.
I think there is something that Donald Trump tapped into, I think that other Republicans could tap into. And again, this is weird because I'm a Democrat making an argument for Republicans. The reason I'm doing this is I think when politicians feel that they can win over voters, we all compete to win over those voters, and that leads to better public policy. Right? If you write off voters, then that leads to extremism in your policy making because you're only focused on pleasing your people.
Well, that was an issue with young men.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I do think the Republican Party can speak to this desire to be an entrepreneur. You know, Democrats too often, my party, we think that people are going to be happy with a handout. No one, I've never met someone who wants a handout, right? I mean, people want to work.
You've never met someone who just wants free money?
I actually haven't. No.
I have.
Have you?
Sure.
I should hang out with different people.
Well, there's a lot of people that just want the government to take care of them.
Here's the thing. I think some people may think they want that. And let's take the government out of it. Some people think they just want to sit on their couch, right? And I do too, right? When I'm like exhausted, the last thing, I just want to rot. My point is, after a while, that doesn't make you feel good.
No.
Right? Every human being, you need the desire to work, to produce, to contribute. I think that is a natural human urge that's like built into us.
Oh, this guy, he wasn't ready. Joe Rogan saw him in a video and was like, oh, he'd be interesting to talk to because he's a minister who was against the 10 Commandments being in school again, because he feels like it'll make people of other religions feel inferior. And, I get it, because if we were in a country, like a Muslim country or something, they would do the same thing for us. Anyway, that's how he feels about this whole thing. I think it's pretty silly. And honestly, I don't know if I told you guys, if you don't like me talking, just another show. Just pick another show. Because some people are like that. I'm not going for that anymore. I'm going to be myself. I talk a lot. That's how it goes. So if you're not into it, please just go. No need for the announcement. No need for actually, I don't like what I heard and that I'm unsubbing right now. I don't. It's okay. I see the ticker. I have numbers. It's a ticker. It'll just go down one. You'll be gone. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, 9 suspects, including multiple Democrat officials, indicted for voter fraud. This is July 8th, 2025. The face that you're seeing there is Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton, who's spending millions of dollars, like that gentleman said, to suppress younger people. He's looking for nothing. They don't really need to be looking for anything in that regard. And really, I mean, leave the young people alone and just let everybody vote. It's like, come on, man. We see what you're doing. We haven't forgotten what New York looks like and who's going to be voting for Mondani for mayor. We all know what's going on. We know what you're doing. We know what Gavin Newsom's doing. Come and arrest me, Donald Trump. Arrest me. We know what you guys are doing, obviously. Not tricking anybody. Well, we just want young people to be able to vote. Because the young people, they don't have a conceal and carry. They don't have a passport. They don't have a license. They should, right? You should have all those things. Why not? Doesn't matter if you're leaving the country or not. Get them. Have them in hand. My mom always did that with me. Every single thing I needed. I had no money to leave the country. She's like, you're getting a passport. She's like, of course you're getting a passport. She made me work my own money. I had to go and get a passport. She's like, go get your passport. Like, just have it. She's like, you don't know what's going to happen in life. You have your passport. I've had it for the longest time. You just don't get it because you're not leaving. What are you, crazy? Then when you do have to leave, think about how long it takes to get your passport. Come on, man. Ridiculous. And then he's like, oh, and the student ID. The student ID. You can't use the student ID. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Because believe it or not, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of Indians in Texas. You go over to that Bushy Creek. You ever been to Bushy Creek? You ever been over to Bushy Creek Park? I'll tell you something. You go to Bushy Creek Park at the right time. They're doing a call for prayer. I'm just saying. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Look it up. Bushy Creek Park, man. That whole area. Miles down the street. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. I was surprised. You know? So these people got indicted here. Let's jump over here. AP, for those of you that don't believe that article, AP News even reported on this. Now, there were 6 people charged in this election investigation involving vote harvesting. Then more people were actually brought to justice in this whole thing because Ken Paxton keeps on pushing this whole thing. Now, from this article here, I'm going to have this read by this lovely artificial person named Ava.
9 suspects, including multiple Democrat officials, were indicted last week on voter fraud charges as part of an ongoing state-led election integrity investigation headed by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, KSAT Investigates reported. 7 of the 9 suspects reportedly turned themselves into the county jail last week. A judicial district attorney confirmed the indictments, according to KSAT. These newly charged 9 joined 6 charged in early May, creating a group of 15 total suspects. Among them are several Pearsall Council members, a Frio County judge, and 2 former local mayors, in addition to the former Democrat House candidate. The suspects each face 1 or more charges of ballot harvesting activities inconsistent with Texas law. Texas requires that, excluding rare exceptions, each voter turn in their own ballot. Vote harvesting, often referred to as ballot harvesting, involves a party other than the voter gathering and submitting absentee ballots outside of the legal exceptions, and is considered a third-degree felony. Frio County initially indicted 6 suspects in early May, arresting 5, according to KSAT News. The New York Times reported all original 5 as having ties to Democrat candidates. Similar connections can be seen among the 9 charged last week, which includes former Democrat House candidate Cecilia Castellano and Juan Manuel Medina. Medina has been accused of vote harvesting on behalf of Castellano, who ran in 2024 for the District 80 seat in the Texas House of Representatives. Medina allegedly compensated one Rachel Leal and former Dilley council member Inelda Rodriguez in exchange for vote harvesting services. In February 2024, Newsmax reported. Leal has been charged with 1 count of vote harvesting, Castellano and Medina with 2, and Rodriguez with 3 counts.
There you go. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is Castellano not a mob name? Am I tripping out? Paul Castellano. Is that a made up thing? Is that like from Goodfellas? And I'm just like imagining a real person? Paul Castellano. And listen, if you are a real person, I apologize, sir. I'm just looking up. You gotta be respectful. He is a guy. He's a mob guy. Wow. Look at this guy. Paul Castellano. All right. I don't know if she's related to him at all. That's pretty wild, though. Yeah, a mob family would move over to Texas. You know, they would do that kind of thing. Yeah, just be like straight New Yorker. Hey, what's going on here? Where am I from? I'm from Texas. What does it sound like I'm from? I'm from Texas. Hey, y'all. I'm from Texas. You got a problem? Just starts beating up people with a belt buckle. Anyway, let's jump over here. Breaking: Ken Paxton opens investigation into 33 non-citizens illegally voting in the 2024 election. But I was reliably informed by the media that this never happens. And that's why Democrats voted against the bill requiring proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. So this is happening. This is really happening. Ken Paxton, this guy's, kind of crapping on Ken for spending so much money investigating this type of thing. But time after time, as he keeps combing through the entire state, he keeps finding things. And that, I don't know about you, I don't have a problem with that use of money. That makes sense to me. Why not? Why wouldn't you just say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use this much money every year. And if there's a little bit of an outcome that you can point to, why not? Why not be okay with that type of money spent? The guy was talking about millions of dollars spent like it's a bad thing. Like, I get it. 33 people is not a lot of people. But at the same time, you got to couple that with the indictments that he has now. You got to couple that with the 1 million people that he had to move from the voter registration. And not all of them were people who were illegally voting. Some people had canceled. Some people moved, like he said, moved counties, etc. There's different reasons. But he's going through and making sure that it's up to snuff every single year to make sure that the votes are solid and people from Texas, Americans. I don't know, man. I don't have any problem with that type of money spent.
I just signed off on a joint resolution to make it crystal clear under the Texas Constitution that if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, you are not allowed to vote in Texas. I just signed off on it.
There you go. That's how it should be. Look at this guy. This guy's upset about it. Why are you upset? It's fine. That's 100% fine. That's what you want, young people. Oh, he's just trying to make it so young people can't vote. And you notice when he says young people, the whole time in my head, as I keep hearing young people, I just corrected myself in my mind. I'm thinking 16, but he's not talking about 16 young people. He's talking about grown-ass adults. He's talking about adults here, guys. These are adults. These are people in their 20s walking around. And it's too much. Oh, I moved and I don't know. I can't vote anymore. I don't know what to do. Hey, but listen, kid, you got a job. You moved. You have an apartment. Get your voting situation together, obviously. Like, what are we talking about here? This is absolutely ridiculous. Man, I'm telling you, this guy, James, there are parts where he seems really good. Honestly, no, there's not. I'm mincing my words. I'm trying to just go down the middle with this whole thing. I'm not doing that. He is one of these dudes who's trying to be a sensible, moderate, left-leaning Democrat person, and it's not working. It shows throughout this entire thing. I mean, the guy even says that the Bible says that abortions are okay. And it's just like, he's just ridiculous. He's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that Joe Rogan actually said, I should actually find that for you guys right now. I'm going to find that for you right now. Listen, I'm going to be talking when I want to talk in my podcast. I was talking on my other channel. I got to be myself when it comes to these channels. I can't act like I'm some robot. You know what I mean? It's just not sustainable for me. I'm a real person. I come up with ideas on the fly, and I want to have them heard. I want to use them in the podcast. Impromptu clip lookup right now. I'm doing that. It's just the way it has to be. So again, if you're not here for it, you just got to go somewhere else. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for you. But if I'm going to be doing this for the next 10 years, 15 years, I got to be doing it on my terms and my terms only. So if you don't like it, get going. But anyway, if you're here for it, let's go. I'm looking up the transcript right now. This is what people do for research, if you didn't know. They'll look up the transcript of a podcast, right? Boom, boom, boom. And then I will type in the word president, because that's what Joe said, right? So now we have 4 mentions of the word president. It's not Trump. Focus so much. You can't just let the ego problem go. No, that's not it. Let's go further down. Well, it doesn't help. videos of the president, hanging around with him. Oh, yeah, you know who he's talking about there. Oh, there it is. Boom. Let's go here. It's 217. I'll jump over here. This is how research works, folks. 217. Can't believe Joe Rogan said this. And, I kind of can. I mean, I listen to him all the time. I understand how Joe works, but listen to this.
Look, if you have so much interest in getting to the bottom of this, like universally on both sides of the aisle, and yet nothing gets done, that tends to give people this fear that cynicism is the correct perspective.
And I want to validate that there is reason and good reasons to be disillusioned. Mm-hmm. I guess all I'm pushing back on is that second step of it's always going to be this way.
Right. It doesn't have to be this way.
That is the key step.
Right.
So I'm
that's
not
because you need to run for president.
Yeah.
We need someone who's actually a good person.
Well,
because the Democrats have very few candidates that are.
Can I actually push back on that?
Please.
Because we were talking about how politics has become a religion. Mm-hmm. This is one of the ways it does is people put all their faith in a politician.
No, but I'm not saying that.
I've seen it with Bernie.
Yes.
People, and I like Bernie.
There you go. Joe says this guy needs to run for president. Just ridiculous. And save me. Actually, I could tell by the fact that he laughed afterward and conversationally that was actually just a joke. You should kind of try to read the conversation a little more. I don't want to hear it, nerd. What are you even doing here still, nerd? Get out of here. Anyway. There's one person that every time I do that voice, they always comment and they always love it. Every single time. They're like, the liberal voice every single time. Shout out to that person. I know that you love it. That's why I do it. But yeah, man, it's a good podcast overall. I mean, you can see through what this guy's trying to do and the things that he's trying to push. It was the same thing with Bernie. Bernie was trying to push a certain agenda when he came on. Same thing with Bono. There's a lot of these people who realize now, like, okay, if Joe Rogan will have me on, this is the thing to do. This is what you do. This is how Trump won. This is what JD did. And now they're trying to get on and they're trying to push their agendas. And, it's very easy to see through. Joe may not push back on it super hard. He might even tell one of them that they need to run for president. But here on this show, the tinfoil Speedo experience, we don't put up with that. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Oh, and like right here, these two things right here, this one, or is it this one? One of them is the tinfoil Speedo experience. Check out my interviews that I've been doing. No Rogan, just me and a guest talking for like 2.5 to 4.5 hours. Go check it out. Doing my Rogan thing on there. I'm out.